It be support time. I thought I'd have been able to get more like Bro and Alois up, but it's fine. Alois and Mercedes.
Mercedes, hello. I have a request for you.
Oh, Alois. What could you possibly need at this hour?
A little birdie told me you're good at telling ghost stories.
I suppose I am.
So it's true. Excellent. I'd like to hear one of your finest ghost stories. Would you be amenable?
Goodness, you want me to share one? Well, certainly. I'm rarely asked to tell ghost stories. Which should I tell? Perhaps the one I heard in the monastery the other day.
Wait a moment.
Is something the matter?
I was only asking whether you'd tell me. The telling itself will have to be another time.
Are you sure? It's no trouble right now.
He's not prepared.
No, I have to steel myself. I have something important to do.
I see. That's a shame, but I suppose it can't be helped. If you don't mind my asking, why the sudden interest in hearing a ghost story?
Well, you see, ghosts terrify me. But I'm a knight. Someday, somewhere, I may have to deal with one.
A knight who's afraid of ghosts.
Yes, it's quite embarrassing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Even knights can't be stoic toward everything.
Knights even canon in this game? I don't think they are.
I'm impressed that you're working so hard to face your fear.
No, it's nothing, really.
I will tell you my scariest ghost story the next chance I get.
Oh, it needn't be your very scariest. A moderately scary story will suffice.
Not that many to do. Felix and Ingrid rank A.
Why are you taking over my cleaning responsibilities?
You're wounded, and you're going too slowly. I couldn't stand to watch.
You're still fretting over me, are you? I'm fine now, really. It wasn't even serious.
I could have handled the situation alone. That enemy wasn't much of a threat.
Yes, we all know you could have. But I also didn't want to risk something unforeseen befalling you. I've been doing some thinking. I feel a bit lost. I don't know that I'm cut out to be a knight after all. Without fulfilling that dream, without being a knight, I've been asking myself where my place is in the world. And I think I found my answer. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. So I want to protect those I hold dear.
That's a nice aim.
That's why you were protecting me, huh? What a fool you are.
Foolish to act in line with what I value most? Were I to die, I would die knowing I followed my heart, my truest calling. I've been reading through more of that book I was telling you about. Recall the hypothetical question it posed? Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
You've been reading that garbage again?
The book never specified that one should prioritize the commander's orders. Instead, it suggested that one should follow their heart in the matter. That's what a knight, that's what anyone being true to themselves should do.
That's just the editor's opinion.
Of course. And I find value in that opinion. Glenn died following his heart, not heeding the commands of the country or even the royal family. His death pains me to this day. It was a tragedy.
Maybe if this
Had he
game had
survived,
like,
I think he would have suffered.
this game had less characters, we could go into these sorts of backstories. Because I don't think it ever shows what Glenn looks like, it just mentions him.
I will follow his example. No matter the outcome, no matter the circumstance. I believe in myself.
And it seems like there's too many support conversations for the amount of time you get. Potentially.
You know nothing.
What is it that you know then? What is it you fight for, Felix?
My own beliefs.
I see no difference from my own stance.
You don't understand.
You fight to be stronger than everyone, that you might protect those you care for, correct?
Okay, fine. You do understand. My point is, don't let this happen again. If you died, I'd be annoyed.
To avoid annoyance, then, I suggest you continue to grow stronger. If that happens, I might allow you to protect me too.
You're insufferable.
That's quite a nice one. 2 to go. Mercedes and Annette.
Annie, do you have a moment?
Is this about what happened when we were shopping? If so, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Not so fast. I haven't properly apologized yet. So, I'm sorry. I got scared. Imagine if something bad happened to you because of me.
Mercy.
You would have just run away if you were on your own, wouldn't you? Instead, you acted defensively because I was there. I dragged you down.
Mercy, you're upsetting me. How dare you say that you dragged me down? You know why I was acting so recklessly? Because I wanted to protect my best friend in the whole world.
Annie.
Do you remember when we first enrolled at the academy? It seemed like everyone was leagues ahead of us and so far out of reach. I felt completely hopeless. But because you were there, I didn't lose hope. So, don't say stupid things about how you dragged me down or how you don't deserve things.
Thank you for saying that. And again, I'm sorry. You're just so important to me. I know I could never find another friend like you. You stayed by my side through thick and thin. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me.
Mercy, can we be friends again?
Of course, Annie. Friends forever.
Good. I don't know what I would have done if we hadn't found a way to make up.
I'm sorry. I should have said something sooner.
No, I'm the one who should have stopped being so stubborn and said something. You know, now that everything's as it should be, I'm suddenly starving.
That's just like you. Come, let's go for tea.
Ooh, let's! And we should have some Mercy baked sweets on the side. I think I love you more than just about anything in the world.
You do? Oh, Annie, you're too sweet.
Not as sweet as your baking. I love your baking more than anything in the world, too. I'm so happy to have you back.
Oh, they've got a nice little relationship there. That's nice. Oh, they've got friends. Seth and Manuela's rank maximum.
Manuela, about what we discussed earlier with regard to Saint Setheline, I feel the need to correct your misapprehensions.
Oh, I won't expose your passion to the light of day. I told you I can keep a secret.
That's not it at all. How can I make you see? I suppose there is no other way. Allow me to tell you a very old story.
Oh, are we getting the actual story here?
What kind of story? Is it about your past? Because there's a story I could enjoy hearing.
I once had a wife. She passed from this world a very long time ago.
Very long time ago, huh?
She was wise, kind of heart, and always smiling. A most wonderful woman. Not long after we married, we were blessed with a child. A girl.
You had a wife and a daughter? Why would you have kept that secret?
To protect my daughter. That has been my foremost concern ever since I had the misfortune to lose my wife. It is my daughter who resembles Saint Setheline. That is why I make my oath to this statue.
Your story doesn't sound right to me. I don't mind saying it.
Why is that?
When you talked about your ideal woman before, your description was almost exactly Saint Setheline.
Yeah, that's probably because it was.
Now you're telling me your daughter is a perfect match?
It is not an exact resemblance. My daughter, for instance, is neither proper nor quiet. In any case, even in matters of love, an ideal seldom lives up to reality. That is the way of the world.
Do it again. Say, the way of the world with a serious face. You're so stern and proper, but you really can be quite funny. I love a man who can make me laugh.
My wife used to say the same thing. I never quite understood what was so funny.
I sound like your late wife? Don't tell me. I actually resemble her, don't I? Mirror image, I bet.
Absolutely not. Though... no, unthinkable.
The way you say it, I suppose I must resemble her a little. Well, isn't that an honor? Say, Sedith, have you ever considered remarrying? You know, just so you're not alone?
It is not a thought that has ever crossed my mind. I have been too preoccupied with fatherhood.
It's been a long time since your wife passed, right? You should start thinking about it.
You're not going to question where this child is, Manuela.
There could be someone who finds you handsome, someone close by, maybe even right in front of you.
Whatever you said just now, I didn't quite hear. But to remarry? I'd never even considered it an option until you brought it up just now. My daughter will not want to remain by my side forever. Perhaps it is time I thought about it.
I'd be happy to help you mull it over if you like. How about tonight? We could go out for a drink.
Are we back to this again? Very well. Just see that you do not drink too much. I would rather not have to carry you home.
Yes. Manuela and Cyril, sure.
This is unbelievable. Why? Why does it keep happening to me? What's wrong with me?
Are you okay?
I was sure I'd be happy this time. Why, oh why do I always struggle in love?
Please, let go of my sleeve.
If I let go, you'll just run away, won't you?
Yes.
Nobody wants to listen to my romantic tragedy. But I saw you, Cyril, and I thought, Cyril will listen, because Cyril is good people.
Okay, I surrender. What do you want to say?
I knew I could trust you, Cyril. You're such a good boy, such a good young man.
How can I help you? Is it just with listening?
Oh, it's a real tragedy. Let me tell you that.
You're going to be here a while.
I was hitting it off with a man I'd seen a few times at the pub. When I looked in his eyes, I thought he was the one. But then, well, we were drinking and enjoying ourselves, and all of a sudden, poof, gone. He just vanished.
I feel like I've heard this story before.
Can you believe he treated me so cruelly?
Yeah, this is all real familiar.
My heart is in tatters. I can't believe anyone could throw away a woman like me. Cyril, be honest. What's wrong with me?
You drink too much, blame others for your behavior, and you don't understand you gotta love yourself before someone else can love you back.
Ooh, look at Cyril being based.
Maybe he wasn't for me anyway. If you're gonna take off after a few drinks, who needs you, right? I think you're too young to understand, but I also think talking to you made me feel better. Yeah. You know what, Cyril? I'm gonna come talk to you more often.
Alright, that's this chunk of support's done. Sylvain and Flame, go.
Sylvain.
Hi. Why do you look so down? But hey, if you're talking to me of your own accord, can I assume you've figured out I'm not a monster?
I wanted to apologize about my treatment of you earlier, Sylvain. I am not normally one to put stock in such rumors.
Nothing to be upset about. I mean, I've kind of earned that reputation.
You did.
I've got this sickness. When I see a pretty girl, I can't stop myself from flirting with her. Like you, for instance.
Oh, I am so sorry to hear of your illness. Perhaps my magic will help heal you.
Huh? No, I didn't mean it like that.
No? Are you not ill then?
That doesn't work on naive
You know what?
lady.
Let's move on. Can I take this to mean everything is good between us?
Of course. Sylvain, I look forward to getting to know you without the falsity of rumors.
Great. Would you like to celebrate our new friendship by joining me for a meal?
You would treat me to a feast? That is very kind of you.
A chance to spend time with a sweet girl like yourself? It's a pleasure. Your voice like birdsong, your eyes clear as diamonds. But above all, I'm drawn to your kind and loving heart. I am a captive to your charms, Flayn.
I hear that very frequently. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess a girl as cute as you would get a lot of compliments.
Anyway, what type of meal were you considering, Sylvain? I would love some seafood, followed by a delicious cake. Oh, I am absolutely famished, as I often am. Shall we be on our way?
She's a tough one. But she's much too savvy, even for a smooth talker like myself.
Little skip. Sheltered girls like her usually fall for that kind of stuff. Alright, breaking out the big guns. Annette and Gilbert, let's go.
Praying, Father?
Yes, praying is all I can do. For I am at fault for each death upon the cursed plain of Duscur.
No, you're not.
You keep saying it's your fault, Father, but you're wrong. His Highness doesn't blame you. Neither does King Lambert, I'm sure of it. But I guess that's not the issue for you, is it?
It was my duty to protect the royal family. I should have given my life to protect the king, even if His Highness has forgiven me. My knightly vows are still broken. My knighthood is lost.
That's obvious from looking at you, Father. I think Mother understood it as well. But before fleeing the country, I wish you had thought about your family. If only for a moment, even if the whole world had condemned you. We would always have been your allies.
I am sorry, Annette.
No, I told you before. I don't particularly want you to apologize.
Annette.
Yes, Father?
Take this.
A bundle of letters. There are so many.
Look inside and you will understand. Should the contents make you sad, please burn them.
Father! For the love of... He's done it again! Just as I thought. Letters for me and Mother. And so many. But why? And how? I suppose I'll have to read them if I hope to find my answers.
I suppose there's a chance he didn't even know where they lived, so... Seth and Catherine.
How are you, Catherine? You look well enough.
Oh, yes, I'm fine. Never better.
That is good. I cannot help but be concerned, given your tendency toward incautious behavior. While boldness can be a virtue, I do hope you will bear in mind that recklessness is not. A moment's negligence can lead to a mortal wound for even the most skilled fighter.
You worry too much. If they saw me in action, the wounds themselves would cower.
That is precisely the attitude that worries me, especially given your history. You have been gravely injured before, as you no doubt recall.
Me? Gravely injured? When did that happen?
You mean you have forgotten? It was during your days as a student at the Officers' Academy. There was an excursion, a monster hunt. You charged ahead and left your fellow students behind. You ended up alone and surrounded. You almost died. Do you truly not remember?
Are you sure? All I remember is cutting down monsters left and right.
That is true enough, but you nearly bled to death in the aftermath. The Archbishop was so concerned for your life that she tended your wounds personally.
Oh, that was when that happened. Finally! It all fits together. Lady Rhea looking after me. Now that I remember clearly. That was the first time she ever spoke to me. I was lying on the ground, caked in mud, and she gently picked me up, even stroked my hair. The emotions were so overpowering that they must have just cleared away my memory of the whole incident. So it was during the monster hunt. Thanks, Seteth. That's been bothering me for ages.
That is not quite why I brought it up.
Come to think of it, Lady Rhea hasn't healed me since then. We've got to find Lady Rhea, and then maybe someday she'll honor me like that again.
You can only do this support during the time skip then. Alright. Oh yeah, because you only get Seteth after the time skip, don't you? Gilbert and Manuela, yeah.
Is that singing?
The blue sea glimmers in the dark. The Red Canyon calls. Goddess, reach in dreams. To her throne she falls. Well, Gilbert, what do you think?
My lady, you were not meant to notice me.
Nobody could miss a good man like you.
My apologies for interrupting. Please excuse me.
No, Gilbert, hold on a moment. You're not disturbing me, truly. I want very much to know what you thought of my singing. The least you can do is tell me.
You were lovely. You sounded lovely.
Lovely? Is that what you really feel? Please be honest.
Why would you suppose I was dishonest?
That is not the look of someone who just heard what they deem to be lovely. It hurts my confidence when my voice can't even lure a fleeting smile to your face. It's as though my singing voice has died since stepping off the Middle Franc stage.
My Lady Manuela, that could be no further from the truth.
If that's the case, then Gilbert, I challenge you to a duel. My singing versus your iron mask. I will break through, and I will see passion in your eyes.
Why did she leave so suddenly? And what could she have meant by a duel? Something is surely
It literally told you exactly what she was what she meant by that. In tongue tied again. Aloisa Manuela, sure.
Alois, what a pleasant surprise. Would you care to join me?
Ah, perfect. I was just looking for someone to dine with. Let's raid the dining hall, shall we?
My goodness, but you're in a good mood.
Manuela, I have some news. I received a letter from my wife today.
Oh?
My daughter just picked up a new skill. Can you guess what it might be?
Singing? Dancing? I've no idea what parents teach their kids, or why they even have children at all. Still, give me a hint. Fishing? Bricklaying?
Bricklaying?
Cooking?
That's right. Spot on as always. My wife is teaching her the basics.
The basics of which?
Next time I'm home, my daughter will be able to cook me all my favorite meals. What a lucky father I am. Is any father in the world luckier than I?
I don't know.
My wife greeting me at the door. My daughter's nervous face as she sets the meal on the table. I'm so excited I bet I won't even be able to taste the food as I devour it.
Wouldn't your daughter appreciate it more if you took the time to savor?
Then I'll say, how delicious. That was the second best meal I've ever had.
Not first best? Shouldn't you encourage her?
Mommy's cooking is the best, but you're a close runner-up, darling.
Why would you say?
Oh, Daddy, I'm so happy you liked it, she'll say, as she embraces me, a big smile on her little face. Ah, what could make a man happier?
You've forgotten I'm here, haven't you? All I wanted was a dinner companion. What did I do to deserve this?
Oh, I know that feel. I really do. Deep in my soul. Last one. Gilbert and Alois. Let's go.
Aha! Finally! Nothing? I could have sworn I felt a bite. Regardless, I shall persist.
Alois, you shouted. Is all well?
Why, if it isn't Gilbert. Everything's splendid. I am fishing, as you can see.
Yet you were also raising your voice, which is not conducive to fishing.
Well, a fish escaped, so I started shouting. See, they're biting all right. I think I'm reeling them in too slowly. Ho-ho! Nothing again? Why do these darn things elude me? I've been at it since yesterday. Every time I feel a pull on my line, the fish escapes.
If I may, Alois, a bit of advice. You lifted the rod as soon as the fish bit.
Well, yes, of course I did. That way the fish has less time to escape.
No, it is the very reason the fish escapes. The fish in this moat know to nibble the bait first. They check if it is safe before biting in earnest. Allow the first pull of the line. Then, when the second pull comes, reel in your prey.
I've been reeling too quickly. Maybe that's why the little flipper-flappers have been getting away. You seem to know your stuff, Gilbert. Do you fancy yourself an angler?
In fairness, I am more a theorist than fisherman. I just happen to know some things about this location.
Ah, is that so? Well, I'm glad to have met a fellow enthusiast. I fish quite often, although I catch fish quite rarely. Regardless, color me impressed. A master of arms, but also a master of the fishing rod.
I am honored by your compliments, and I believe you could achieve mastery if you attend to the basics. With your permission, I might accompany you on a fishing expedition. Perhaps offer more pointers, if I may.
Oh, splendid! You shall be my second fishing mentor. My rise in skill will be astronomical.
And we're back for support.
Maybe.
Someone's up here. Whoever this is, I can't remember.
Professor.
Hanneman. That's it. Here we go. What do you have to say?
How are you doing, Professor? Would you care to join me for a cup of tea? It occurs to me that whenever we chat, I have a tendency to pester you with my questions and theories about your history. It seems only fair to speak on the topic of myself for once. And perhaps you might feel more positively inclined toward my research if I shared my own story.
Bro, your research is really useful for this world. It's just the way you go about trying to get your answers is a bit suspect. Slightly suspect.
I am quite pleased to hear you're interested. Yes, quite pleased. Well, I suppose I should begin at the beginning, eh? I was born into a noble house of the Empire. Not a large house, mind you, but noble all the same. Our land holdings were small, but our bloodline was quite strong. So, as you can imagine, there were many of us in the family who carried the power of crests. I myself bear a minor crest. Our family's abundance of crests may be part of the reason I've been interested in the topic since I was just a boy. I dedicated myself to my studies, and after years of effort, I became lead crest scholar at the Empire's largest research institution. I had only Imperial blood, and thus Imperial crests, at my disposal in the Empire. So I came to Garrick Mach and devoted myself to my research during my time as a professor. My progress is slow, but with each revelation, I move ever closer to the answers I have sought for decades.
Literally all your answers could have been solved if Rhea just told you.
Your cooperation as the bearer of the Crest of Flames ensures my research will continue to advance. In fact, it may bring me ever closer to the goal of uncovering everything there is to know about crests. I do hope you shall continue helping me advance in this field of study. Together, we will solve the mystery of your Crest of Flames, and our world will be the better for it. Shall we proceed? My lab instruments are fully prepared.
See, you didn't need to say that.
I have a number of tests I'm excited to carry out. No, don't worry. They won't hurt one bit.
See, you didn't even need to go there. That puts people off talking to you about it. But sure, okay. Alright, so we just got quite a couple of these to do. These will be Dedue and Dimitri's, I'd assume. Because he hasn't been here for most of it.
Hello, Felix. Training alone again, I see.
Spying on me again, I see.
It is not my intention to spy. I am merely concerned about you. I do not think you have been keeping your friends at a distance because you dislike them personally. Rather, I think what bothers you is their concept of proper knighthood. Is that not so?
You really have been watching me closely. You're correct. I don't understand why they revere knighthood. I won't be friends with anyone who believes in that nonsense.
Do you feel that way because of what happened in the tragedy of Duscur? I have heard the story. Your brother was one of the royal knights. He gave his life to defend the prince.
My brother was doing his job. My father is the real problem. When my brother's armor was brought back to the castle, do you know what he said? He died like a true knight. Chivalry begets the worship and glorification of death. Am I alone in finding that grotesque? I suppose you'll excommunicate me for blaspheming like this.
Not at all. I am not a knight, so I have no intentions of lecturing you about chivalry. So long as one's conduct is consistent with the teachings of the goddess, it is up to the individual to decide right from wrong.
In that case, I'd like you to formally pardon me for not having friends.
You require no such pardon. This is merely advice from an old man to a younger one. As unwavering as your convictions may be, the others also feel strongly about their beliefs. If you hate all those whose beliefs are different from yours, you will hate everyone eventually. People with exactly the same beliefs as you simply do not exist. You do not have to change your beliefs, of course. But you do have to accept that others feel differently. That is my advice to you. I will speak no more of it.
Seteth, can I ask one thing? Why are you going out of your way to tell me this? Why bother with me at all?
Because I trust you. Now that I've heard what you have to say, I trust you even more. I am also a rather eccentric person. I thought you and I might get along.
I see. You've gone to so much trouble. I may have to start making an effort as well.
Good. Do not take this the wrong way, but I hope you will surpass my expectations.
Seteth being a good teacher, well done. Mercedes and Dimitri B.
You've been spending a lot of time at the training ground, Mercedes. As far as swordsmanship goes, you're like a whole new person.
Thank you. I have such a great time when you teach me that improving comes naturally.
It's all because of your own hard work. Compared to you,
You shouldn't be so disappointed in yourself. You're improving too. You just need to keep at it.
Well, I can hold a needle and thread without breaking anything now. That's something.
That's a big step. When we started, you couldn't even hold a pair of scissors without twisting them apart.
True. I'm sorry for being such a burden.
You're no bother at all. I like sewing with you. It reminds me of when I was young and my mother taught me how to sew. My mother would sit with my brother and me. I really miss it. Even though I was barely better than you when I started.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount for me to talk about on certain ones of these, so I might think of a random topic to discuss.
Did your mother like to sew, Dimitri?
My birth mother? From my father's accounts, she wasn't great at it either.
Oh, of course. I forgot that the Queen of Fargus passed away long ago.
Did she though? Oh, hang on. Yeah, she did, but then... What was it? His stepmother is the one who potentially screwed everything up?
Yes. I don't really remember what she was like. But I remember my stepmother. Always sitting by the window, sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing. So unreachable. She was kind to me, yes. But when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that...
I see.
But now I'm just going on and on about myself. Why don't you tell me more about you?
More about me? Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to say.
It's hard to think of something on the spot, isn't it?
You want to know more about my family? On that topic, I'm happy to oblige. In fact, I'm so glad you asked. It's important to think about your past and share it every now and then. This might take a while, but would you be willing to stay and listen?
Of course. I will listen for as long as you wish.
Yeah, there's quite a bit about your backstory I want to know, but I doubt you're going to tell me.
Hey, wait.
What is it?
You defended me in battle. Why?
That's what he does.
His Highness does not wish for our military strength to be depleted. The loss of your strength would be significant.
You are a colossal idiot. One slip up and you would have died. You think you would have been happy about that?
No, I do not.
Then why protect me? I thought you were his mindless weapon, his sword and shield.
I heard about your brother. He was a Duscar. He died to protect His Highness.
He did, but I don't see what that has to do with anything. Are you repaying some kind of debt? I hope you're not going to praise his death. I hear enough of that from my old man.
I will not praise it then. Instead, I will say I would have done the same in his position. Is it really so unnatural to put one's life on the line to protect a brother in arms?
To hear a rabid dog call me a brother in arms.
Your insults are merely an attempt to avoid addressing me as what I am. I am a man of Duscar. Yet you were concerned for my life.
Concerned is a strong word. Your death would have been unpleasant, that's all.
Well done, did you? You tell him.
Coming from you, that is enough.
What's that supposed to mean? I just meant... Never mind. Okay, go ahead, protect me. But if you act like a fool and get yourself killed, I'll kill you.
How can you kill me if I am already dead?
You know what I meant.
God, this is a lot of supports to do. Catherine and Dimitri.
Another day, another training session, I see. You're quite dedicated. And practicing with the sword today. You weren't any good with it when you were little, as I recall.
And who told you that?
Lord Rodrigue mentioned it to me. He said you used to swing your sword so hard that you'd break it.
That was ages ago. I've had plenty of time to improve since then. Now I count swordplay as one of my specialties. Care to see for yourself?
How strong do you have to be to break a sword by swinging it?
Well, I can't just take your word for it, can I? Let's see what you've got. Well, I'm impressed. You're better than I expected.
I could say the same of you. I suppose we students still have much to learn.
No need for false modesty. We fought as equals just now. You're strong, and your form is excellent. You're clearly an experienced fighter, but you're greedy. You can't be so impatient to win. It'll come at a grave cost.
Greedy? I see. I'll take that note to heart. You have my thanks for the instruction.
It returns. The formality, the stiffness. Anyway, after we're through here, I might head into town for some food. Care to join me?
I appreciate the invitation, but I have certain duties I must attend to this evening.
Of course you do. Never mind about my plans then.
I thought you'd say that. You have the same sense of responsibility as I do.
You think so? I didn't want to push you to join me. We can just do it another day. I'll confess, I'm taking a shine to you. I'd like to talk to you more.
I would like that as well. Ever since I saw you wielding a sword all those years ago, I've been following in your footsteps.
Yeah, by using a spear.
To be able to stand with you and cross swords is quite a...
Hey, slow down. Where did all this come from? You're embarrassing me. That's enough chatter for now anyway. Let's get back to sparring. This time with lances. I won't hold back. Show me what you can do.
Right. Prepare yourself.
There's no way you can beat Dimitri with a lance. No way.
Your Highness, missing the day's training? How unlike you.
I had intended to train, but this rain is unrelenting.
That's just one random thing I can discuss, I suppose. For the next playthrough, when I'm taking every single character, I'm only going to be doing supports of characters I would need to see or are a part of my team and no else. I'll ignore most of them.
Yes, it's really coming down out there. Makes it hard to go outside, I suppose. It's pouring so hard, I can't help but feel poorly.
Yes. Quite.
Sorry, that one was pretty bad. I think this weather is putting a damper on my sense of humor.
At any rate, did you need me for something?
Completely ignore them.
Ah, yes. You seem to have the time to spare, so would you help me organize our stock of weapons? You must know a thing or two about weapons, and I bet you're no slouch at physical labor.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. I was just hoping for a useful way to pass the time until the rain lets up.
I appreciate it. I don't know how I do it all on my own. You know, it's great that you're willing to help with this kind of thing. Some nobles are so self-important.
On a random note,
You're a real go-getter, Your Highness. Or should I say,
I've just recorded
Your
3 episodes of these supports, and that's just an hour of nothing but supports. So if I'd have cut the supports out, I'd have probably lost like 30 hours of gameplay. You do not need that many supports in a game.
If he's going to lop off my head, he'd better go ahead and do it. I can't bear the silence. Listen, Your Highness, that joke, I didn't mean to... Huh? Wait, you mean you actually found it funny?
Oh goodness, not at all. I see. But when a joke is unfunny to a certain degree, it somehow comes full circle into hilarity.
That's not exactly what I was going for. Still, I don't think I've ever seen you laugh so loudly.
It's true. Laughter is not one of my strong suits. Eloise, perhaps you should focus your efforts on honing this comedic talent of yours.
This talent? Is that your way of saying I'm no good at telling jokes?
My apologies.
That does it. Next time I make you laugh, I'm gonna make you admit it was a good quality joke. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to cook up some top-notch rib ticklers.
Eloise?
You know, like when you just get random thoughts in your head, like,
Oh, he's gone.
how would they design the characters of these? Did they design the 3D models first, or the 2D sprites first? I was thinking then, because some of the models don't look the same as the 3D sprites. Let's do an important one. Gilbert and Annette.
Hello, Father. May I have a moment?
Of course.
I read all your letters. You never stopped writing them, did you? My birthday, Mother's birthday, every possible occasion, without fail.
Yes.
So why didn't you send any of them? If you had sent even one,
There's a chance he
you
wouldn't
would've-
know where you were. Because finding in this sort of setting, it's quite hard to find where people are if they move.
Each time I thought to send one, I could not do so. Such behavior belittled my penance. Time passed, and with it my feelings of guilt toward you and your mother grew. Even though I wrote the letters, I could not send them.
I would always talk about it with Mother. If only he'd write us at least once, we'd say. We waited and waited. All those long years.
I am sorry.
I'm tired of hearing it, so just stop. Your apologies change nothing. Send those letters to Mother. She'll be happy to hear from you.
I cannot.
In that case, why don't I send them?
I have given them to you. They are yours to do with as you wish.
All right then. I'll send them. You don't get to take it back afterwards. Father, you should know that they made me happy.
Happy?
Knowing that you were thinking of us all along. We were worried about you, Mother and I. Neither of us ever came out and said it, but we thought maybe you hated us. Were trying to forget all about us.
Never. I swear it on His late Majesty and on my homeland.
I see. All right. Then swear. Swear that someday, when this war is over...
I hear you, Annette. I will return without fail.
Unless a cutscene happens, that will most likely happen and he will not
No
die.
matter what. That's a
Cutscenes
promise
are
you
the
just made.
banes of characters
If you
in this
break
game.
it, I'll never speak to you again.
Yes, I promise.
Great. Now I'm positively elated.
God, like
I
that
can't
previous
wait until we're all a
cutscene.
family again.
Miserable.
I look forward to it, Annette. More than anything.
It's like the only way they could have got Dimitri out of his stump is to kill off his father figure. I'm like, come on, game. Absolutely no need for that.
Dutiful as ever, Dedue.
What are you suggesting?
You're always busy delivering messages.
You mean His Highness's orders?
Does he need you to run such trivial errands?
He should not trouble himself over them. I am honored to attend His Highness, and to represent him in all matters. Ever since he saved my life, serving him has given me reason to live.
Reason to live?
Your relationship to the Archbishop seems similar.
Hers isn't. She doesn't like Rhea.
Not quite. I joined the Knights to repay a debt I owed Rhea. The debt's been repaid, so she's nothing more than a former employer.
Then you are not motivated by loyalty.
Not especially. I wouldn't call Rhea my reason to live.
And if a higher-paying employer comes along?
I'd consider it. That's what mercenaries do.
Then yes, we are completely different.
Everyone's different. I'm not trying to criticize your loyalty. I've seen a lot of people like you all over the world. They don't tend to last very long, though. Try not to end up like them.
Thank you for the warning.
Alright, so we're slowly getting through. Gilbert and Dimitri. This might be a nice one.
Gustav, it has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission.
There is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that, had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav. Even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Faerghus has become.
Please, I beg you.
I see. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth. If only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
That's all it took, Dimitri telling him, go see your family, for him to actually do it.
Your Highness, I have a little favor to ask of you.
Of course. How may I be of assistance?
Well, I was hoping you could tell me about my father. I imagine he was a very different man at home than he was at work.
Ah, so you wish to hear about the Gustav that I knew. As you know, he was a knight who served the royal family since my grandfather's reign. To me, he was a teacher of martial arts and tactics. He was someone I depended on since I was a small child. But he was also a very stern and strict instructor.
That doesn't surprise me. He was much the same at home. He'd chide us if we made mistakes, whether it was with cooking or even how we spoke. I feel like we can talk like this because of our time at the academy. But if he saw me speaking so casually to you, oh my goodness, he would probably faint.
Is that so? Funny. I suppose in front of his family he felt the need to demonstrate proper etiquette.
Wait, are you saying that's not how he was around you?
Even all these years later, there's something I recall with perfect clarity. It happened in the autumn of my 11th year. Before the break of dawn, he woke me suddenly. Said he'd heard a disturbance and had me grab my bow. Then he set me and a fellow pupil loose on a dark mountain. Our only directive was to go catch a deer. As you well know, autumn in the capital is very cold. Now, imagine being up on the mountain at night with no idea what might jump out from the shadows. That, in a nutshell, is the Gustav I knew.
I can hardly imagine that. He was completely different with me.
I recall one other defining detail. He used to speak of you at every possible opportunity.
Really? What would he say about me?
Are you sure you want to know? There's one story he used to tell from when you were very small.
No, stop! It's probably too embarrassing to bear. Is it?
Perhaps.
Look, I'll promise to forget the stories he told me about you if you return the favor. Deal?
Yes, that seems the only thing to do. It's a promise.
It's quite a nice one too. Annette and Ash's max rank.
Almost forgot how spooky this place is. I don't know if I can do this alone. No, I've got to. What use am I to anyone if I can't even handle an empty tower? Here goes.
The doll from my father must be in there. But I'm too scared to go looking for it.
Annette!
Ash, what are you doing here?
Oh, here, I got this for you.
My doll! You went back for it? But why?
Your father gave it to you. I know you said you'd throw it away, but you can't just toss out something so important.
Ash, thank you. I'm so happy. To be honest, I didn't have the courage to go back in there to get
Way
it
to go,
myself.
Ash. Way to go.
But thanks to you, I didn't have to. And you're afraid of ghosts, right? Were you okay in there all by yourself?
Well, not really. I tried my best not to think about it. My legs shook whenever I did.
Oh, poor Ash. You're safe now, I promise.
Knock it off, would you? I'm okay now. But I'm glad I could help you and see a smile on your face. Look at me, though. A grown man, scared of ghosts. Pathetic, right?
No, I don't think that at all. I think you're something special, Ash.
Yes, a dumbass. I mean, he went into that tower in this support and the previous one with a net, with no light sources at all. Absolute genius.
You were really brave, and all for me. That wasn't an easy thing to do. I'm in awe of you.
Thanks. Maybe there is still hope for me as a knight.
Yes, I'll gladly attest to that. I'm sure you'll be a splendid knight. Maybe you'll even outdo my father.
Well, that's a frightening thought, comparing me to someone like Gilbert. But it's a happy one, too. It makes me want to work that much harder.
That was a fairly nice one. Felix and Dimitri, let's go.
You don't look busy. Join me for some training, Boar Prince.
And here I thought you had no desire to speak with me.
We don't need to speak to clash swords, do we?
I suppose not. Is that one new? Wait. Where did you get such a blade?
I suppose you would recognize its value. I came upon a merchant selling weapons and found this among the rest of the steel.
That pattern around the edge. There's no doubt. It was forged by Zoltan, the master swordsmith.
I'm not giving it to you.
Huh? Oh, I'm just happy to have laid eyes on it. I don't suppose you'd allow me the chance to hold it.
Do you take me for a fool? I'm not letting a brute like you swing it around.
As though I would be careless with something so valuable.
I recall when you were 9 years old, you swung a sword so hard you snapped it clean in two.
Come now, that was so long ago. I'm hardly the fool I was then.
So you say.
What the hell is a 9-year-old that
still
strong?
That story for years.
Is that a crest thing?
What's wrong, Felix?
Oh, pointless. No use talking about someone who's long dead. Looking at your face is making me angry. I'm going to find a different training partner. Farewell, your beastliness.
What is going on with him?
You get weapons from supports. Okay. That's new. Felix and Flane.
Flane? What's that you're hiding?
Oh no, my surprise is spoiled. I had brought some fruits for you to cut up in addition to the firewood. I thought some variation might prove amusing.
No, I'm not doing that again. I've got better uses for my sword than chopping up fruit and firewood.
I cannot imagine what could be better than chopping fruit.
Chopping up my enemies.
You say that as though you have many enemies. So you would rather chop people than firewood. Is that it?
That's not how I'd put it, but a blade's purpose is to kill. To chop wood, use an axe. To chop food, use a knife. It's simple.
Surely it is not forbidden to use your sword for other things, like chopping fruit. Swords that cut inanimate objects are serving a much finer purpose than those that cut living beings.
What a noble sentiment. But without a blade to cut down your enemies, you cannot win. Those who are weak lose everything and they die. Those who are strong win and live on. I understand why you balk at bloodshed, but you must know that it has a purpose.
And what purpose might that be?
A purpose. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not in the mood to debate you. I'll continue to wield my sword, and if necessary, cut down my enemies.
He certainly is a stubborn one.
You're trying, Flayn. You're trying.
Your Highness, I've come to apologize. I mismanaged my feelings and got carried away. I've been thinking about what might have made you say the things you did. I was so caught up in the moment and in my own feelings that I didn't think of what yours might be.
It's been that long since we've done these two before. I can't remember what they were arguing about.
No, I should be the one to apologize. I did not intend to say such things. I lashed out like a child. You were right to rebuke me. I am disgusted by my own inability to express myself. Will you allow me to explain?
Of course.
At the tragedy of Duscur, I saw countless corpses. Of course, I saw his, too. Glenn's. Ingrid, I doubt you would have been able to see him. They were unable to bring his body back, after all. He must have died an agonizing death, full of pain and regret. In that wasteland, there were no beautiful, proud
Don't tell that
deaths
to his
could have been written
ex-fiancée,
about in
bro.
heroic tales.
Calm
Not
down.
one. I do not want you to die a death like that. Not even for the sake of loyalty or duty.
A king must at times order his soldiers and knights to fight and die on his behalf. Their lives must be used for the greater good. And this is something any good king understands innately. Any king who doesn't allow people to die on his behalf is too soft to rule well.
You leave me little room for argument. Have I disappointed you?
No. I chose to serve you because of how you are. As your knight, I will stand by your side and uphold your soft-hearted ideals.
What has changed, Ingrid? You were so obstinate the other day.
I've realized that I haven't been facing a very important truth. Because of you, I can finally move on. Thank you.
To be fair, she has needed to move on for a while. Ash, is that Asher Mercedes? Yes. Asher Mercedes, let's go.
Excuse me, Ash. Do you have a moment? I finally managed to finish cooking a dish, and I would love for you to have a taste.
Sounds good. I'd be happy to. Wow, Mercedes. This is delicious.
I used that herb you suggested. Boiling it gave off such a lovely aroma. I think I used the right amount of spice, too. Even I could eat it without burning my tongue. I'm a much better cook now, thanks to you. I hope you can continue teaching me.
Oh, definitely. I should thank you, too.
Thank me? Even after all the trouble I've caused you?
Seeing you persevere has made me really happy. In fact, you've reminded me of someone I cared about a lot.
Oh, someone you cared about? Romantic?
I guess it's Lord Lonato, alright.
This is all so sudden, Ash.
I didn't mean it that way. I was actually thinking about my brother.
You have a brother, do you?
What a relief. I didn't even know you had a brother.
Yeah, I didn't think I did either.
He was the son of Lonato, my adoptive father. I always called him my brother, though. Failure never got to him. All he'd ever do is laugh and try
Or
again.
do I remember this guy?
Whenever I was feeling down about a setback, he would cheer me up. He'd say something like, "Don't worry, we'll tackle it together next time." I was always happy to have him around.
He sounds like a wonderful person.
He was. And I get the same feeling from you.
I've done nothing but bother you with frivolous little things. I'm sure I could never be like your brother. But I'd like to stay by your side, if you'll have me.
What do you mean?
I want to be there to help you in times of need, or to cheer you up when you're feeling down. I should be able to manage that without doing too much damage.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Thank you, Mercedes. I know I can rely on you.
Quick Google search has told me that Lenato's son is Kristoff, the one who went to the Officers Academy with Catherine. That's where I remembered his name from. Alright, cool. That is supports finished.